right, it is a new month. We've got a new issue of previews, and my friend Jay is here with me again. And if you haven't watched, my name's Matt Ryan.
I'm Jay.
Jay Miller, CrossFit superhero, professional goof off. But we're here to share our picks for. This is the June issue of previews for books that are shipping in books and other items that are shipping in August. Jay, you want to go first with your picks?
Sure. We'll start the opposite of where we started the last time. We're going to start with Marvel this time. They're doing a 100th anniversary Jack Kirby variant cover.
I'm glad you said that. Did you flag that?
I just kind of, wanted to bring it up because it's kind of the first thing you see when you open the previews.
I'm jumping in at the end of your segment here.
They're kind of, they're going a little nuts with it. Usually I'm not big on jumping on the variant bandwagon, but this is kind of a big deal. There's going to be a lot of really cool stuff that's kind of floating around out there. Not necessarily anything I would pay exorbitant amounts of money for, but it's kind of stuff if you find in the wild, I would just go ahead and snag it up just because of how beautiful it looks. So with that being said, the kind of first thing I have flagged here is... I just lost it. Alright, we'll just go to the next one.
What was it, do you remember?
Let's see. I want to say it was... that's alright. That's alright. We'll just keep
I wonder what it was.
So, one thing that I think is always really fun, and that I think they're kind of delving into a little bit more this time, it looks like they're actually, putting some time and effort into it, is Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe again. It's one of those things, they do a lot of that with, I know they've done it with Spawn, they've done it with Deadpool in the past, but and for me, just kind of being a big general fan, it's one of those things that's just kind of, it's fun. It's not going to break the bank, they're not necessarily making a movie out of it, there's no speculation on it, it's just one of those things, you pick it up for cover price and you have some fun with it.
Now, was this in your picks last time?
This was not in my picks last time.
Okay, so you're going to do some treasure hunting.
But yeah, I'm going to have to kind of hunt around for some of those. As always, I'm a big fan of Star Wars. Probably one thing that I really do not agree on is what they're doing next is this kind of Mace Windu spinoff. I personally just think of all the characters to do a spinoff on, and I could be wrong, I'm going to pick it up just to kind of check it out. I think Mace Windu is just kind of a middle-of-the-road character.
Dennis Cowan, though.
For me, if I was to pick a character to do, especially this day and age with the whole Wonder Woman thing and people going down that road, Mara Jade, no questions asked. I would bring her into the mix or do like a Dr. Aphra, Mara Jade.
Does Mara Jade exist in the new?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I believe so. But
Dennis Cowan on a Mace Windu book.
It should be interesting. And they're still doing the 40th anniversary variant covers and all that kind of stuff if you guys are into that. Another thing that I thought was really cool is they're doing a Cassian K2SO special. And then it looks like, I don't know if it's just a one-shot or they're doing more than one. It looks like it's just, a one-shot. I'm sure it's just kind of like a small series, but they're doing it. It looks kind of cool.
40 pages.
Yeah, 40 pages. Something to check out if you guys are into that. Up next here, let's see what I got.
I was going to flag the same thing.
So, this is something that I think is really cool that Marvel's doing. It's basically throwback to a lot of the reprints of number ones. I know one thing that I've always looked at and that I always look for in the wild is the first appearance of Groot, Tales to Astonish. But, they have a million different kind of number ones, first appearances, and you can kind of see how these big major characters that play such huge roles in today's movies and pop culture kind of started up. And what they call it is they call it the True Believers version. It's basically just a reprint of stuff they've done in the past.
I think this is awesome. And for $1 each, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm ordering all 12.
Might as well.
Like, you could frame these things.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And they're $1 a piece.
They're
oh
beautiful.
my God, it's reprinting like. So ready, here's the list. And I'm so glad you flagged these. Black Panther, Avengers, Tales to Astonish, Journey into Mystery with Thor, Journey into Mystery, Tales of Suspense with Iron Man and Cap, The Eternals, Devil Dinosaur, Strange Tales, The Inhumans. It's got a weird funky cover though. Tales of Suspense and Tales to Astonish. Tales of Suspense is Iron Man. Tales to Astonish is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Come on, for $1 a piece.
Yeah.
And each one of these books is 32 pages. They do that True Believers incentive thing almost every month now, where you could, even if you had a kid that you were buying books for, you're getting them for $1 a pop, and it's reprinting classic material. I wholly endorse your pick there.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's just, a good thing, like you said, kind of bringing it back to kids. This is kind of how everything got started, and, it's a great way to kind of introduce kids to where comics came from.
And it's all Kirby.
Yep.
It's all Kirby.
Yeah, so it's really cool stuff going on.
Yeah, that's super exciting.
So now we'll get into the big book. All right, hopefully we can
I wonder what
make
it
our way
was
through
you
this.
missed. Was it the Generations thing?
I don't know.
It wasn't X-Men.
So the first thing I have in the big book is Hellboy in Hell Library Edition hardcover. Hellboy in Hell Library Edition hardcover.
That's awesome.
It looks awesome. All right. So it's $50. It's a 9x12. It's 312 pages. So it says, after sacrificing himself to save the world, this epic conclusion of Hellboy's story follows him on a journey through hell where he once again faces off against the vampire of Prague. Right? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Pleads his case when he is accused of murder and fulfills his destiny by destroying Pandemonium itself. All right. So this deluxe oversized hardcover edition collects Hellboys in Hell, plus the expanded sketchbook edition, so you also kind of get a little bit extra. It's in a big format. It's hardcover. It's awesome. Even for somebody that's not necessarily into Hellboy, this is something that's really cool that's probably not going to come around too often to throw into your collection.
Yeah, and Dark Horse does a great job with their library editions.
Cool.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, so definitely something to check out.
Good pick.
The next one I have there, let's see. The next one I have, and this is kind of the nerd in me, is the Fallout 4 poster collection. So basically what this is I believe it's 20 prints. You get 20 prints for $40. Right, let's see.
Yeah,
Collecting 20,
Yep.
20 premium quality posters from the the game Fallout 4. And Fallout 4 is one of those games where Bethesda really does it big with concept art and all that kind of stuff. So this is probably stuff that I'm not necessarily sure you're going to be able to pick up anywhere else other than knowing the artist or contacting them directly and trying to pay them in some kind of funky way to get a big print of the stuff that they've done. So for kind of the art lover in me and the gaming nerd, kind of everything coming together, that's definitely something that you definitely don't see all the time in previews that I'm going to be picking up.
I didn't even see that.
The next thing I have
Whoa.
is this is another pretty big situation. Is Bernie Wrightson Artifact Edition. Okay, and it looks like there are two versions of it. Okay, Bernie Wrightson Artifact Edition. Again, this is a huge deal. Again, it comes at a price. It's a 12x17 hardcover. It's black and white. It's 144 pages at $125.
These are one of those books where it's the scans of the original artwork. It's not the pre-press version that we see of these comic pages. This is going to have every brutal detail in it. These are great books. What a treasure Bernie is and will maintain to be in the comic industry, and in his line work and the patience that he would show with his artwork. What a special treat Nice snag there.
Yeah, again, not something you're going to see very often come up. I don't know if they're doing a certain print on this. I haven't read into it, done a lot of research, but
And there are 2 solicitations here. Are they 2 different books?
it looks like they're just 2 different covers. I'm not 100% sure, but again, it looks really cool. Alongside of that, boom, Jack Kirby's The Mighty Thor Artist Edition, Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four Artist Edition, The Last Boy on Earth, and then New Gods. Again, all not necessarily as rare. I don't believe the price tag is nearly as high.
It's probably going to be comparable.
But again, another just cool thing to have kind of in your collection if you're interested.
No price shown.
All right.
Usually those artist editions are about that.
Yeah. So again, just something to check out, especially if you're somebody that likes to have stuff like that in your collection. The next one that I have, this is kind of usually where I go with stuff, is delving into Image and the kind of the new stuff they have coming out. At the beginning of their solicitation, they have a couple new stuff, a couple new things. Nothing that necessarily jumps out at me. Whenever you see something that says collectible, gem of the month, I like to look for stuff that's a little more under the radar. And I'm more of a sci-fi guy as it is. So I'm gonna actually look into this new one coming out. It's a new #1 series premiere. It's called Elsewhere. All right, you guys can see that one.
Looks very cool.
#1. So the description reads, mysteriously transported to a strange new world filled with flying beasts and alien civilizations. Love it already. Didn't even have to go any farther than that for me. Amelia desperately struggles to return home. Along the way, she forges alliances, makes enemies, and goes from aviator to freedom fighter in a rebellion against a merciless warlord. Again, I think it's a really cool idea. It's one of those classic kind of sci-fi types. It looks to be type stories that could really kind of take off. Who knows, movie, whatever else in the future.
It's kind of a little Greg Capullo vibe to the artwork there.
Looks cool. Looks like something that I would read, not just necessarily collect or try and flip or anything like that. Trying to move through this nice and quick for you guys.
You're doing great.
The next thing I have is Curse Words #7. Again, this is kind of just my personal flair. I think Curse Words is one of those books that's really, really out there. The color palette is pretty extreme. They do a lot of reds. They do a lot of pinks. They do a lot of blues. It's really flashy. It's actually somewhat vulgar, so I wouldn't necessarily pick this up for your kids, but it's a really fun, different one where they're clearly letting the people that are drawing it and writing it just kind of go nuts and have fun.
Now, you're a big Scotty Young fan. Do you get his Fairyland books?
I don't. I've read a few of the first ones, but I haven't kind of delved into it.
Is that something you're going to get in trade at some point, do you think?
Yeah, that's something I'd love to pick up and trade. So the next thing I have is kind of in my speculation window. Redneck #5 and Regression #4. If you guys are looking at speculation, these are 2 that have been blowing up lately. I know Redneck #1 and Regression #4 had a couple really special covers that came out with some conventions.
Wait, you're talking about Regression #1 or?
So so this is just the solicitation is here for 5 and 4.
Yeah.
But in terms of just kind of keeping up with stuff that's hot right now, these are 2 to pick up. They're comics right now that are really hot. All the little groups, the little fanboys are kind of going nuts over them.
The artwork for Regression looks fantastic.
It's cool. I know they're both very raw. They're both very violent, similar to kind of Walking Dead. They don't pull their punches in kind of the graphic nature of what they put in there. Whether or not they're gonna take off and go somewhere with spin-offs or movies or shows or whatever it may be is kind of we'll see about that in the future. I have a couple copies just in case, you know what I mean, of the #1s. They're cool.
When you read it, does it seem like something that would transition to the screen?
You never know.
Okay.
I mean, there's so much in this book that you could justify saying that for.
Yes.
That you never really know. But those are ones to keep your eye on if you're looking at kind of like what's hot and potential flips for the future. The last thing I have, and you'll probably hear me pitch this guy's stuff every week, is from Eric Powell's company, Albatross Comics, Hillbilly number 10,
Yep.
and this new one here. So from Brendan Small, the man who brought you Deathlock and
Death Clock.
Deathclock and Metalocalypse,
Metalocalypse.
comes a high-stakes intergalactic rock comic in 6 parts based on his album Galacton.
So who is this guy?
So I mean, I'm assuming he's a more of a music
Yeah.
guy, but it looks really cool.
Let's see if we can find this
Really
presentation
cool.
when we talk about it.
So I think, you know, Hillbilly, definitely stuff you don't see a lot. We'll see if Matt can
It's
find
spotlighted
anything
here as something that people are excited about. Steve Mannion is very talented. He's got a very cool look. He did some very interesting books a couple years ago that I picked up. The Man Who Brought You Death Clock. Brandon Small.
else. So just something to check out. I always like to keep my eye on what Albatross Comics does. I think Eric Powell has a really funky style to him, and he's one with as out there as he can be. I imagine anybody he kind of brings under his umbrella, he's going to give that kind of creativity to as well.
Well, and he's sharing the writing. He's not listed here, but he is sharing the writing credit there.
So those are my picks for the week, and now we're going to kind of go on to Matt and see what he has.
All right, so first thing, I'll talk about it real quick. Conan, the Regression, right, from Image, same writer from Regression, Cullen Bunn. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed. Cullen, take a nap.
I don't know how he does it, man.
Everywhere.
I don't know how he does it.
And then they've got an interesting artist here for the cover. It's got a very Greenberg or Grindberg. What am I? Todd Greenberg, right? It's got kind of that vibe, but and I've got a guest artist there too. So, you know, Conan is my commitment. One thing that I saw that I was very curious about, just the art, just kind of spoke to me. Rashomon here. This was a book from Spain. Part 1 was originally only published in Spain, and this is going to collect both parts into the same hardcover. I kind of balk sometimes getting original graphic novels because you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. You never know.
But you know, the artwork looks really good on the cover, so we'll see. We'll see. The next book I have flagged here, and it's still a mystery. Cull the Eternal. This is my first IDW book that I've picked for the month. Great looking cover, and I guess Bart Sears is going to do a variant cover for them. I'm not a big fan of variant covers, but I do like Bart Sears. This is the 3rd issue from IDW. Still part of Current Day, which is a concept I'm not a fan of. Remember that if you watched the last month. Next book I have here, and I'm shocked you didn't pick this. Seven to Eternity.
Oh, Seven to Eternity.
Yeah,
Okay.
oh my gosh, what a great book. And this is the end of the story arc.
I'm keeping up with it. You know, I figured just kind of, you know, like Star Wars, everybody knows that Seven to Eternity is one of my go-tos, so I decided to spare you guys this week.
Never spare. Never. Stray Bullets, Dave Lapham. Love his book. I'm starting to look for the trades now that Image has published. If you like Pulp Fiction, you would like Stray Bullets. And you know what I watched yesterday while I was working? The Hateful Eight.
I didn't see that.
It's got a very strong Pulp Fiction. Well, it's the same guy. It's Quentin Tarantino, but it's kind of broken up into chapters. It's very fun. Next, I saw this just shipped the other day. Archie has the reprint rights to old Marvel content, and they're publishing it in digest format. Jay and I were in a store yesterday. And
$5.
Is it five? Is it $5?
No, the one that you showed me the other day was $5.
This one's $7.
$5.
And it's all Avengers reprints, and there was a ton of stuff.
Oh my god, it was so good.
If your eyes are going, it's not your book. It's so small. It's the Archie Digest, but it's filled with Marvel stuff.
So cool.
So I'm excited about that. And then the Riverdale or the Archie section here, we have customers that come to the office here that are really excited for that. Elena, I've got your pick here. The WWE books. She loves these books.
They're doing really well.
Now, like, are they resale value? Is it high?
I haven't heard anything about it.
Because we missed the 4th issue. I couldn't find it. So I'm on her list for not getting the 4th issue. But I gotta go find that. Now, this looks really good to me. This is Dynamite Entertainment. I can't open this up. Look at that artwork. I'm going to actually walk up to the camera and show you this. Oh, and it's only 25 cents, my friends. Only 25 cents. Sheena from Dynamite. That's the interior art. I hope I'm not messing up. But my goodness, that looks phenomenal. And I'll tip it a little bit so you can maybe get better light on it. This looks really, really good. Marguerite Bennett. Moritat on the art. Like, it just looks fantastic. There's a J. Scott Campbell variant cover. I'm not a big fan of variant covers, but oh my goodness, Ryan Sook's got a variant cover. Ay, ay, ay. Looks really good. Next, Commitment Level, the Robert E. Howard section. I've got Red Sonja number 8 flagged here. Of all the she's still stuck in current day, I think. Yep, she's working her way, trekking across America, looking for a way back to Hyrcania. Yeah, great. Oh, but the variant covers, I got Ben Caldwell and John Boy Myers to choose from. Jay, these are really small to show you guys at home, but look how fun those look.
Yeah.
Even Mike McCone's cover.
A lot of cool variant covers coming out these days. My only issue with them is more the negative aspect that it's grown, where people just try and flip them for more money, or stores are like, hey, we got this variant cover, let's charge $20 for it, as opposed to letting somebody take it home and enjoy it, or put it up on a rack and kind of be like, hey, look at how beautiful that is.
And as a fan, it makes it confusing. Do I have this? Do I not have this?
Yeah.
For some of these issues or some of these books that have been going for years. So for my next pick, this one kind of just jumped off the page for me. Gregory and the Gargoyles. Did you see that?
Looks fun.
Humanoids for kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Beautifully colored hardcover. Looks really, really good. This one I'm really excited about. I saw the ad when we were at Barnes & Noble the other day. I saw this trade.
I remember.
The Baker Street 4. Gorgeous book. I don't know.
Art looks really cool.
Yeah, it does. It looks really clean. A lot of movement.
Looks very almost Disney-esque.
It does, and it's a award-winning comic series based on Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes. Just gorgeous stuff, and that's from Insight Comics.
I've never heard from them before.
Yeah,
Is that new for you too?
Yeah, it is. It is, and it's beautiful, beautiful. Next up, I know, and I'm trying to move it along here. I picked a lot of stuff in the back. Thinking outside the long box. I'm surprised you didn't flag this.
I should have caught this too.
Hercules Wrath of the Heavens from Titan. Man, does that look good? Kind of reminds me of the old Heavy Metals. Gorgeous artwork.
The same format that they use in their covers is the same format, seemingly, that Eastman uses on his Ninja Turtles. Very similar headliner.
Yep.
With what comes under it.
Yep.
But it looks good.
Yeah, it does. It looks really good. Very, very pretty. I'm excited for this one. No knowledge of it. Wasn't even on my radar.
No. I mean, it says Spotlight new series from Titan.
Yeah, it is a spotlighted.
Titan's been stepping up their game lately, so it'll be interesting to see what comes of that.
Skydoll was good. They're not resolved. They haven't resolved that yet. And they have that other book, which was I don't know if you know, but it was nominated Normandy Gold. It's a very pretty book too. Next, I flagged the Disney Descendants because I have a customer here who's nuts for that stuff. This is not for me. These are for our Doctor Who friends.
Yes.
The Mr. Man series, they're doing a nice tribute to Doctor Who here.
Yeah.
Genius.
For fans, it should be...
Oh, a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It just looks so cute. And those books, they bring me right back to my youth. I don't know when they started producing the originals. But Doctor Second, Doctor Seventh, Doctor Eighth, Doctor Ninth, they're all right. No, obviously not all of them, but I don't know anything about Doctor Who. That's so off my radar.
I'm not a big Doctor Who guy myself.
Delving deeper into now I'm in the toy section here. I'm not
always
getting
fun. This. Always fun to see what they have, but this is cool.
This is just crazy. The Mr. Potato Head Xenomorph, it's just genius.
For collectors, that's huge.
It is huge. And are there Potato Head collectors? Do you think there's got to be?
I know there got to be alien collectors.
Do you have the Darth Tater? Do you have that one?
I don't, but now I need to get it.
I might have that. I might be able to give it to you.
Wow.
And then here's another thing that's on your need list: the Alien Motion Tracker Prop Replica, only $700.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
that.
2 of those.
Get that. Next up, and this is for my personal collection: the Red Sonja little bendable action figure. Okay, it's got Frank Thorne on the box. It's never gonna come out. So yeah. And then what we have here is.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, look at this is really cool, and you're not going to be able to see it back there, and the picture's not great, but it's a Game of Thrones King's Landing 3D puzzle. Over on the side here's the castle, and
how cool is that?
The city at its foot. Like that's
cool. That's definitely outside the box, thing for fans that
it's just so neat.
Hits a lot of different people, stuff like that.
Only $30. It doesn't say who's producing it, but it's listed under Fallout. That is not right, but okay. And then the last item I have on here, which I'm very excited about, is we have 2 sets of these here in the office already. But Rory's Story Cubes.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen these?
So good. I like having something that you can hold and that you can, always work with.
Yeah, if you ever get stuck writing a story, or you want to fool around with a friend and make a story up, these are so much fun. And they're releasing an Adventure Time version, a Batman version, Doctor Who, Scooby-Doo, Moomin, and the one I am getting, the Looney Tunes one. Because whenever you need to resolve a story, an anvil can do wonders. They're just fantastic, and there are apps for the Story Cubes too, so you can actually do them on the go and do the digital die rolling. But that kind of summarizes both of our picks for August, the hottest days of the summer around here.
They're coming.
It's true. It is coming. Well, you know what we talked about on earlier. You had mentioned like things that we didn't see in there that you want to see. You brought up a great point about comic art or prints for the art collector.
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of time, aside from taking a really beautiful book and ripping a page out of it and framing it, the only other thing you see is something on a whether it's a small card that has some nice art on it, or it's a really big poster size. It's kind of glossy. It's kind of, it's kind of like young teen just tacks it to his wall type of thing. Not something that, I would say that you really put up to show and you can appreciate. And I wish that there was a company out there that took some, beautiful, whether it's page art or concept art or even rough sketches that had been maybe inked but not colored, and you take these beautiful pieces, potentially unfinished, stuff that you don't see very often, stuff that they pull out of archives, and make, a nice beautiful print, maybe have the artist number and sign them. And it's one of those things where you could definitely find a happy middle ground where the people producing it make a decent amount of money without having to charge, $1,200 to have something on your wall that looks
Right.
good.
You know, Bud Plant and Sal Q, back in the day when I was a kid, they used to actually do that. And they would take the Savage Sword of Conan covers, which were painted,
Mm.
and they would print them without the logos and stuff like that. And they were, I think they were 11 by 14 on glossy cardstock. And the sets, they would come in like sets of 8, and they were numbered. But I don't think that company's around anymore.
Yeah. And so it'd be really interesting if anybody's ever out, if anybody that's listening is out there, has any kind of connections or knows somebody who knows somebody. I'd be interested to see, you know, if you did some digging, what you could find, you know, in terms of getting the rights to, you know, recreate some beautiful pieces of art, because that's such a huge part of the reason that I love comics is the art. And unfortunately, sometimes the only way to appreciate it is either to destroy the book or take it out for 2 seconds, look at the art, and then just put it right back in the box.
Yeah, and then the other alternative is I hate to say it, these print houses that are doing it unofficially, and they're just blowing up the covers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, now that they're printing art on comic boxes, why can't they just give us the masterpiece covers?
Yeah.
I think it's a great suggestion. So, if you work at one of these big companies that does high-end covers,
That's obviously watching our show.
yes. Well, yeah, and if you know anybody outside our immediate 16. So that's going to do it for this month's show. And I think we still have another week before the orders have to be turned in. But your local comic shop will happily accept your order.
I believe it's next Thursday, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, and you know, we're kind of on the other side of Free Comic Day, and this means a lot to me. You know, we're the ambassadors for this medium, and I know that you just had a great experience sharing a comic, a first-time comic with a first-time comic reader in your life, and that's such an important thing. You know, this industry lives and dies with us, and it doesn't serve us to not introduce it to people. Like Free Comic Day, we should be bringing our friends to that so that they can see the madness that we already know and love. Mm-hmm. Like, and you talk about that experience you have with your roommate and sharing that book. Like, that's a great story.
Yeah.
You know, you want to tell them? Like,
sure. So I was on my way out of the house the other day, and my roommate, who is very into Star Wars as much as I am, you know, I always talk about the comics, and she's like, oh yeah, you know, I should check them out. And I have, you know, a long box and a couple of short boxes up in my room, so I went up and I got a, I think it was a 5th printing. I'm not giving her a 1st printing, you know, I'm not going to do that, not yet at least. So I got the comic, it was, you know, it's all bagged and boarded, and, you know, she was in the middle of watching Clone Wars or whatever it was, so I just kind of placed it on the counter with a little note that said, you know, when you get a minute, read this. And the first thing that happened when I walked through the door later that day was she came up to me and she was like, hey, can I have the second one? Like, I really want to read that. And it's as simple as just, you know, giving somebody the opportunity to read it.
and that's the way the medium used to be.
Yeah.
That's the way it was back in the day when they weren't $5 a piece.
Ugh.
You know, we could trade them, we could share them with our friends, and you know, the digital age is coming, and you're not really going to have that ability. You may be able to share your ID on whatever platform you have, but things are changing. So it's good to share. It's good to share, get people addicted. So be an ambassador for this medium. You know that we are. You know, as a comic fan and an art collector, and as a comic creator and a comic fan, like we both know our role in this big machine. So we're gonna leave you with that. My name is Matt Ryan.
Jay Miller.
And we are here at the Simsbury headquarters of Free Lunch Comics, Free Lunch Studios. Come on by anytime, and maybe we'll see you at a show. Talk to us about what your picks are. These are just ours. Yep. We value your opinion too. You may be able to educate us to something that's really cool. So we look forward to seeing you maybe at a show or around at a comic shop or wherever. So thank you very much.
See you guys.
Bye.